Minister, my question is very specific, and I'm asking for the status of the flood relief works, which have huge significance and importance for Galway City generally, but particularly for the residential and the business areas in the Claddagh, where I live myself, in Saltail, Long Walk, Spanish Arch, Eglinton Canal, Merchants Road. It has experienced serious flooding. So I'm asking for a status, an update on the status of it, because this is significantly important for Galway, and we need to ensure that there's no delays. There are no delays.
And thank you, Deputy Connolly, for this question, and I'm going to answer it on behalf of my colleague, Minister O'Donovan. I'm advised that further to the Deputy's previous questions on this matter, Galway City Council, as project sponsor and contracting authority, is leading the development of the Corrib Go Costa Galway City Flood Relief Scheme, with technical advice and funding being provided by the Office of Public Works. The objective of the Corrib Go Costa project is to assess, design and deliver a viable, cost-effective and environmentally sustainable flood relief scheme, which has a preliminary total project budget estimate of €9.5 million, and when complete will protect over 940 properties in the Long Walk, Spanish Arch, Eglinton Canal, Merchants Quay, Raven Terrace, Salt Hill and Claddagh areas of Galway City from tidal and river flooding. The scheme is currently in stage 1, and the preliminary draft options for the scheme are programmed to be presented to the general public towards the end of this year. Currently it is programmed that the stage 2 will begin towards the end of 2023, with the scheme expected to be submitted for planning approval to An Bord Pleanála in the third quarter of 2024, following the completion of all environmental assessments. The scheme represents a significant investment for Galway City, which will be undertaken with all due consideration for regulatory, planning, environmental and social constraints, while achieving the goal of delivering a viable, cost-effective and environmentally sustainable flood relief scheme for Galway City.
Thank you, Minister. And I have placed previous questions, and I will continue to do so, because it is of such vital importance to the city. I couldn't disagree that this is to process, design and deliver a viable, cost-effective and environmentally sustainable flood relief scheme. Nobody could argue with that. But my difficulty with this is in terms of some of the comments that have been made in the past, and I think by the junior minister who's not here today, in terms of objectors. My experience in local politics is I had no difficulty with people making submissions under the planning laws. I don't call them objectors. And indeed, on various occasions, the courts have highlighted without lay people taking part in the planning process, the situation would be much worse. So there is a public consultation. Unfortunately, because of COVID, the first one was online with poor attendance. Has any analysis been done of that? Secondly, can we have an assurance that the next one will be face-to-face? Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy. So I think your two questions are, has there been an analysis of the public consultation that's been done to date, which you believe was poorly attended as a result of it being carried out during the pandemic? And I will seek for you an answer for that from Minister O'Donovan. And your other question is whether there will be further consultation, whether those consultations will be face-to-face rather than online. I know that there will be further consultations as part of the process. Some of those are statutory and some non-statutory, and all of the legal and required procedures will of course be carried out. I'll come back to you with a detailed response on when the next round of consultation will be held and in what form it will be.
It's not me noting, it's actually reported on the website that the consultation had low numbers. So if we've learnt anything about concerned residents' concerns, it's to take them seriously, to have a forum where they're heard and to work with them. We can't have delays in relation to this. On the other hand, it has to be balanced with what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with the Eglinton Canal and the Claddagh Basin, which are there since 1852 when it was opened by Lord Eglinton. And it's of particular heritage significance, not to mention other reasons. So what I'm appealing for here is, from day one, we stop this use of the word objectors, and we look on this as a project that's vital to Galway, done in a sustainable way, bringing people on board. And how do we do that? How do we learn and bring people on board and set out and inform them and empower them? I'm one of those. I'm a resident of the Claddagh that's affected. I've seen the place flooded. Fortunately, I wasn't, but lots of other houses weren't. They want something done, but they want it done. You know those lovely words we've used? Sustainable and environmentally friendly. That has to be done in consultation with the people at every stage, every step of the way. Garmag.
During a public consultation, objections are not made, submissions are made, and observations are made.
And
those can be, there can be positive and there can be negative elements to them. There can be suggestions for how a scheme can be improved. And it is a positive process. It's legally required, but even if it weren't legally required, it improves schemes in a number of different ways, because not only that it brings people with you, it's not just about persuading people that this is a good scheme, it's actually about going out to people who live in that local area or people who have specific knowledge, whether it's technical knowledge or expertise or professional knowledge or just local knowledge from living there, and they know the areas that flood and so on, and getting that included with the engineers so that you get a better scheme that actually lasts. And when you talk about sustainability, sustainability is just a word for something that actually lasts a long time. And, you know, if we're doing a flood scheme that will take the better part of a decade to complete, you certainly want it to last for many decades into the future. It's a stronger scheme with public consultation, and that's why we have public consultation. Thank you.